Hello, this is Clint from Clint's Permaculture Garden. I want to show you something that it's November, believe it or not. We've got some really cold weather. All day today I've been taking these things apart, but I wanted to show you one of these, and it is a clamshell air propagator. And you'll see all the, I had several of these on this Celeste and brown turkey and some mission over there. I've taken them off of all these different varieties of figs. I didn't put these on until the end of July, which tells me by the way that a fig works that I could, in theory, use this twice a year, because the numbers I'm getting ready to talk to you as far as your income that you could get from this, to keep that in mind. They're not that expensive. It's just a plastic piece. You can see the roots through this. Some of these are black. The figs, I mean, we've cut a bunch of these out. I had a bunch of these on here, so this was shaded, but if it's gonna be out in the sun somewhere where the sun's hitting it, don't use one of the clear ones. It'll get too hot on you. But you'll see we still have figs that are on here. We've ate figs off the ones we've been propagating, so you're not hurting your production at all. And you just zip tie these things together. You put a medium in there like you would use for seeds. There's no fertilizer or anything like that. And you cut it and score it, and I'm sure I'll have a video on this somewhere down the road when we start this up in the spring. But you cut the bark off, you score, you get through the candium of that. You put some dip and grow on there, put your soil in here, water it, and the way the funnel is on these clamshells, if we have rain that week, I don't worry about it. I've only had to water these a couple of times really when they weren't moist. But it's really simple. But the cool thing about this is I can do this on a big plant, still get my figs, and when it comes time for me getting close to frost, I'm gonna go plant that, and I'm gonna have a 3-foot tree. Now when you go to a nursery and sell these, that's easily, or out of your backyard or whatever you're gonna do, that's easily a $22, $30 fig, depending on your variety, of course. This is more of a common kind right here. But I want you to think about something. People are always trying to figure out, well, how do I make, they're just wringing their hands. How do I make money with permaculture? How do I make money with permaculture? Well, if we sold this in a pot for $22, we had 250 of the clamshells, and I've got some up there that I didn't have to use this big, but these, I mean, you can see the size of the branches I was doing. There's smaller ones, medium ones, and large ones. If I did 500 of these off the plants and $22 a piece, that's $11,000 of income. So you'll take away your pots and your pot and soil, you'll be somewhere around that $9,000 mark for something you can put on here and still get your figs. I mean, they're not gonna make it because of the frost, the reason we're cutting them. But that's a $9,000 income stream possibly. All this could be done on 1/8 of an acre. So that's one plant that you can propagate yourself, have a mature plant by next summer that you can sell for $22. And it's a way to generate money on your property using backyard propagation and inside of your permaculture business to generate money. Making money is not hard in permaculture, because permaculture is no different than any other business. Don't get all wrapped up because you think it is, that it's somewhat different. Business is business, and this is just a niche that someone can do. I've also, I did some mulberries that I'm going to show you up there, but I do want to show you one thing about mulberries that I found quite interesting. The bigger you probably can't see that, but that's just a stub down in there. It's just a black mulberry. Stub was down in there. This is one of the medium-sized ones, which you can see from the size of this. But that's too much weight on first-year growth for a mulberry. I even had it tied back to the main trunk. All the mulberries, except for the very little ones that I didn't make it. They actually broke. The wind just took them apart. Where you scrape the bark, it's just too much for them. So keep that in mind. But the little bitty clamshells I did for the white mulberries that I'm propagating, they're half this size, and by August to November, it was so full of roots, I'm almost worried about those being root bound inside of these things. So that's how fast. So that's another plant that you come out here with mulberries. You take your spring cuttings to do your normal propagation. You could come down from that, put one of these on here, pull that off in July, pick another limb, put another one on here. So you could, if you spread your mulberry out, you could be making several trees in 3 different stages of the year with mulberry trees that are ready to sell. Because I'm going to show you a white mulberry up here on the next video showing how we plant this thing and what it looks like inside. Super simple. Not hard to make money in this stuff. People will gladly give you your money for good plants, and that's what we're growing, is good plants.